You're listening to the Bird Dog Babe podcast with my mom, Courtney Bastion.
I love it. I love storytelling. So I've always loved writing. I've always loved storytelling. Anytime I can tell a story about something. And that's why I think this whole, to approach women about being outdoors, whether it's with a bow, an arch, a gun, or not, or with a dog, or whatever. I mean, I just think that if you can do it in a story, tell a story and let people make their own stories as a result. That's what life's about.
Hey, bird dog babes. My name is Courtney Bastion, and I am obsessed with all things bird dogs. And I'm here with you to share the stories, experiences, knowledge, and opinions from the women and a few guys in the industry that are killing it. I'm a Wisconsin girl living in a Montana world. I'm mom and two incredible kiddos, wife and occasional assistant to a pro gun dog trainer, traveling the U.S. talking about canine nutrition while hunting, breeding, and competing with my German wire hair pointers and Bracco Italianos. As someone who started hunting later in life because I wanted to give my dogs the opportunity to do what they were bred to do, I'm here to help inspire, educate, and connect women to get their bird dogs out in the field and experience a bond like no other. So pour yourself a glass of wine and get ready to be challenged and encouraged while you learn. This is the Bird Dog Babe podcast. My guest today is Barbara Baird. Barbara is the publisher of the Women's Outdoor News, also known as The One. The One is basically a one-stop shop for resources, news, stories, and reviews for everything regarding women outdoors. From shooting tips to guns and gear, hunting, fishing, archery, birding, survival, and even how to pee in the woods. If you want to know about it, Barbara and her team at The One have it covered. All right, let's get after it. A big shout out to the people and partners that are helping me keep the MP3s rolling for this podcast. My Patreon patrons, the bread and butter, the peeps, the community of like-minded individuals that are eager to learn and offer to contribute. Join us for $5 per month on patreon.com/thebirddogbabe for exclusive discounts, content, and live Q&A sessions. Dakota 283 Unparalleled Protection Rotomold Kennels. My favorite is the G3. It has a molded-in, easy-to-grab handle on top that makes it easy for me to lift in and out of my truck. The keyed paddle latching door makes me feel at ease on trips when I run into the gas station or a restaurant for a bite to eat and I'm not able to bring the dogs in with me. Go to Dakota283.com and use promo code BIRDDOGBABE for 10% off. And by Syren, Shotguns for Women. Syren carries the only full line of women's shotguns. They're dedicated to providing the equipment and knowledge that make shooting and hunting more enjoyable and less stressful. Newer seasoned hunter, Syren offers multiple options that fit right out of the box. No more compromises. Go to SyrenUSA.com and check out all the options available for upland, waterfowl, sporting, and trap shotguns. And while you're there, say hello to Julia, Syren's new 12-gauge sporting that is one of the most stunning shotguns I've laid my eyes on. Also by Big Frig, roto-molded coolers with heavy-duty latches, dual stainless steel lock plates that double as bottle openers. They also have dry boxes, tumblers, and growlers. And my favorite, the ability to customize the tumblers and coolers. Head to thebirddogbabe.com/bigfrig to view the wide array of sizes and colors available. There's a Badlands cooler perfect for your way of life. Good morning, Barbara. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, thanks for coming on. So you are the publisher for the Women's Outdoor News, otherwise known as WON. Is that how you would pronounce it if you want to abbreviate?
Well, actually, it's a little edgy. We call it The One.
Oh, The One.
The one and only. And yeah, guilty.
I like that. That's a little authoritative. I like it.
Right. Just take command even if you don't have it. Go to the cockpit. So
you've been doing the The one. I need to say that right now. I'm going
Well,
to
you
have to
can say
correct
the
myself.
wand. That sounds like you're from South America.
It
Or
does. You're
the
right.
wand.
Like it's a really awkward pronunciation too in my mouth when I say it.
Oh,
The
sorry.
one.
There you go. You got it.
The
You
one.
did it.
Now it's
Yes.
I feel like I'm back to my Wisconsin roots here. The one.
Okay. Well, if I keep listening to you, I might switch into my South Dakota language because I'm from there, don't you know?
I love it. So where in South Dakota are you from?
Sioux Falls, the big city.
Perfect.
The metro city. And then I also
Yeah.
spent some time in North Dakota, and then we broke out of the state and moved to South Dakota. So I love both of the Dakotas.
Mm-hmm.
The last
And now you're
frontier.
in Missouri?
Misery.
Missouri, right.
I'm in the state
right.
of misery.
So what took you down to Missouri?
To Missouri. This is really how the locals pronounce it. South of
Mhm.
St. Louis, they call it Missouri. My husband, he's from here, and we retired back here on a big old, I call it the ghost cattle ranch because we have no cattle. We just have well, he's an explosives engineer, so he does exploding around here and testing and all. So it's real. We have a weird lifestyle. Courtney, he still does. He's like a expert witness, explosives engineer, PhD, and this kind of stuff. And so he blows stuff up. And then I
That's
write about
awesome.
guns and hunting.
Do you
and
guys have many neighbors nearby that really appreciate you?
they love it. Sometimes they get to come over and,
And blow shit up with you?
well, oh, you said it. I wasn't even going to say that, but he does say that. Yes. Yeah, one time one of our kids, I think it was our daughter, said, "Hey, my friend said no one's going to mess with your family. Your dad blows stuff up and your mom throws knives and shoots guns." So it's like the crazy people.
You throw knives? Okay, now I need to know what that's about.
Oh, it's just for recreation.
Fun.
Not in the
you-
kitchen.
Do you have like a little bullseye target that you're throwing knives at?
No, I'm naturally a good knife and particularly axe thrower. I found it
Ooh.
so when I went to some outdoor events. I'm like, I would think I was born for that Olympic sport that has not been
Yeah.
created yet. So, yeah. So, but it's really a lot of fun.
That is a lot of fun. So we before COVID hit, my husband and I do date nights every Friday night. We take the kids
Oh.
to a daycare. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. But one night we did do that. We went to a axe throwing, like it's a place where you just go throw axes, and it's a competition, and it was the best time ever. And but that's what you do at home.
Oh, no, I don't do it at home. I just do
Okay,
it when
you do
I'm
it at
out.
events.
Yeah, because, well, I'm so good, I don't even have to practice. It's like I'm a freaking natural at this.
Do you bring your own axe to it, or do
No,
you
just give
when
me
you
any
go?
axe and I
You
can
can
hit the
do any?
bullseye.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh!
I'm not kidding. I'm a freak of nature when it
Oh
comes
my
to
gosh!
this.
So because
But
when we went to this place, we have the option of like these long handled axes or a short one. So
mhm,
you can do both of those.
yes.
Wow. You're gonna have
Oh,
to
why?
we're gonna have to do one of our live Patreon sessions with you showing us and giving us instruction of how to axe throw.
Well, I have no clue really how to do it. I can just,
You can't teach us the technique.
I
You
mean, I
just
used
say,
to play tennis in college, so I don't know if the tennis skills can like go over to that. And I know they don't help with fly fishing at all, but but they must help with this. So, well, anyway, I
oh
think
my
we're way
gosh.
off track. We're
Yeah,
talking
we
about
are. So that we're gonna have to edit that out. But it was a fun little sidetrack.
Oh no, I don't care. You keep that in if
Okay.
you want.
It was fun though. All right. So tell me about the one. So the publication started in 2008.
2008.
Okay.
2008, November 4th, the election of Barack Obama.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah.
Say what you
yeah.
will.
Right. Right.
Yes, I just
So
remember that was the day I launched it.
okay. So what kind of brought you to that launch? What inspired you?
Oh, well, you remember this thing, or you probably know this thing called WordPress? It was
Mm-hmm.
starting to be created about that time, and I was working over with Jim Shepard at Outdoor Wires, and we had started the Women's Outdoor Wires. And he won't mind if I tell this, but because he's very proud of what I've done with Women's Outdoor News. But
Mm-hmm.
I really thought that women needed a blog type format and a networking ability. And I didn't see that with what we were doing at Women's Outdoor Wire. So I started my own blog thing. And, to this day, I mean, we go back and forth with sharing things with the wires and that type thing, but seemed to work out pretty well that women wanted to be able to ask the questions of women at Women's Outdoor News who are talking about fishing, hunting, shooting, or adventure and get knowledge that way or find out more about how they can develop a new skill.
Mhm. And so they were reaching out to you personally
Yes.
to get that content from you.
Yes, because I'm a
Yeah.
freelance writer in the outdoor market. And so for
Mhm.
guns and outdoor things and hunting and shooting and yes, and all that's like the whole world was just opening up in 2008 with the blog format and media. I mean, it seems like ancient times, doesn't it? 2008, but
Right.
a long time
But
ago.
you're right. That's when a lot of kind of different movements and progression started happening, was around that time period. The different platforms, I think.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were really afraid in the outdoor industry of the blog format. And I remember going to a meeting in particular with um, some of the big wigs, and they're saying, "Man, we hate it because this blog format, anybody can say anything about our gun, this product." And but what we said was, yeah, anybody can say anything, but if it's wrong, they're going to be corrected at space.
Mhm. Right.
So there's room for criticism. So if it's terrible about your product, other people will come in and either affirm it or basically crucify it. So what's wrong with free speech? I keep
Mhm.
asking that question.
Mhm. And did you find after you started that the community that you had there just kept building at a rapid pace?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, because I mean, I can share that we have had more than 17 million page views with people on the site last year, 15 minutes a time, which is phenomenal.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on there, and I want to get into the content here shortly. But first, I mean, how did you personally come to this? Like knowing that the community needed something like this. Did you start out hunting and shooting yourself, or what was your interest that brought you to that portion of it?
Oh, no, I didn't start out hunting and shooting, and I married a guy that had been on the pistol team at the Air Force Academy. So that got
Okay.
me started shooting with my husband, Jason, the guy. And then we had three sons, and I don't know how many boys you have, but we created this fraternity house that I have to live in, and that I had to live in for several years. And they just didn't want to go to the mall. We also have a daughter, and they didn't go to the mall with my daughter and me, or go to craft fairs or that type of thing, or go junking and that kind of thing that I love to do. But so I found that I needed to go outdoors with them. So I did that. That was the first step. We started doing more things. Of course, Jason and the boys were already outdoors doing things. So Jackie and I just started joining them. And then more family hiking and canoeing and shooting together and that type of thing. Didn't do the hunting until later when the boys left, and I thought, well, I gotta fill the freezer with Jason. Someone's got to
Mhm.
help do this. So, and then I found out I really loved it. But I digress. So then I could be an English teacher. I could be teaching your kids how to conjugate verbs right now in a Zoom classroom somewhere. But instead, since I graduated in December when I was 40, I finally finished college, graduate because I've been moving all over the place
Awesome.
as a
Yeah,
military wife.
congrats.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so well, thank you. So it was a big moment for me.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
20 years in the making. So anyway, there were no jobs for English teachers. I was subbing and stuff, and I started working at a local newspaper, Courtney, and that was it. I started doing an outdoor column. People started inviting me to go like gigging on the river in January, 29 degrees. I mean, talking fish gigging with the long
Mm.
14-foot spears, and then I started writing for outdoor magazines, and then I started hunting, and this world just opened up to me, and I realized I was pretty much genetically wired to do this. I think
Right.
that's the thing that we sometimes we don't know whether we can. And I've been out with women before and mentored them, and they can't pull a trigger on a deer, and that's fine. That's cool.
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
care. It's a whole experience. Why not find out whether you're a hunter or a gatherer or a mix?
Right. That is a really interesting way that you got into the community. And I just think obviously I'm more familiar with upland hunting and the different reasons why women get started here. And, I did for the dogs, and I know some do just because they like hiking with their dogs, and other ones have been brought in because they wanted the food portion of hunting. So, we all have these different avenues, and I find it really cool that you came into this industry just from, being a writer, a publisher, and starting out in that portion of the outdoors. And you kind of grew that passion there. That's a really neat avenue you took.
Yeah, I've always been really happy when, at first, some people might think it's insulting, but people would come up to me. Maybe they see something I wrote about for the Missouri Conservationist or another like regional outdoor magazine, and at first, and they go, "Oh, I saw where you did that. I guess if you can do it, I can do it." And I was like, "Okay, thank you."
Right. So, what kind of hunting do you all do?
I will hunt whatever is in season anywhere.
Okay.
So invite me. No, I'm just kidding.
No, so big game. You do big game,
Yep.
waterfowl, upland.
Yes,
Cool.
and then on Earth we'll do predator control. Like I was out, I guess you could say, hunting armadillos, and I got two. Venison. We get deer. I guess that's what's actually called whitetail here in the Ozarks, and our turkey population is really low, so I don't hunt turkeys anymore around here because it's just so low. It's not.
I don't think I've ever heard that line in my life. Our turkey population's low. I feel like turkeys do really well.
Well, that's out west they do, I think that out west we have a writer in Seattle who she can't keep him off her back porch.
Right. Well, even in Wisconsin, they're all over the place.
Yeah, we have a problem here.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one is the website, and we can find that at what's the website address?
womensoutdoornews.com.
Okay. Perfect. And how often, to supplement that, you're sending out a newsletter as well?
Yes, we do a weekly newsletter, and you can also subscribe to daily updates. So whenever we have new content, which is 5 or 6 days a week.
To subscribe to that, we can just go to the website, and there's going to be an option to opt in to those?
Yes, absolutely. And you can either choose weekly or as it happens.
Okay. So
in the moment.
Yeah. And you're adding that much content to it every week. That is really impressive.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's because of our sponsors, Courtney.
Okay.
We have some great sponsors, a lot of the gun companies, outdoor companies, and yeah.
Well, and it's a fantastic resource, and I have to tell you a personal experience. A woman had reached out to me. She was looking to find ways to connect with other women in the upland hunting community, or other women that enjoy shooting in general, because she's looking at improving her shooting skills before next season. And I started mentioning a couple of the organizations. And as I was looking at your website, which was prompted to me from one of your awesome newsletters I got, I saw on there a resource page. And there's actually 6 pages that you have that list all these different women's organizations and events. And I sent the link to that whole PDF to her.
Thank you.
It was amazing. I love that you did that. That it's kind of it's a one-stop shop, but it's obviously going to be a second process where, so you have them all listed on there, like Shoot Like a Girl, Well-Armed Woman, the Becoming an Outdoors Woman. So all those are on this page, and you're going to have to go into each of those links individually to find out when, where, and what. But incredible resource, Barbara. I haven't seen that anywhere else. And so,
thank you. And we're always, if you have another one that we missed, we'll put it on there. It's not,
Okay.
we don't charge for that. And then we also included girls
Mm-hmm.
organizations like Run Like a Girl. That's something you do outdoors, and that is amazing. That program and Frontier Girls, we know that they've kind of taken on more of like what the old Boy Scouts used to be like with outdoor patches and outdoor badges and outdoor activities.
Sure.
So yeah, and Inspiring Girls, that's an organization that used to before COVID, but I'm sure they'll get back to it or probably doing it virtually. But more girls that are into science and geology and outdoor, they have like outdoor clinics for girls to try to create
Mhm.
girls who want to become scientists and get into the science fields having to do with, well, indoors, outdoors, or whatever. But we just think that's so important.
Absolutely. And you have, that's what I love about your website as an amazing resource, because it's not just for those of us that hunt or those that are
Oh,
doing shooting. Some of the other topics you have on there, um, well, personal protection
hmm
and fishing, archery, adventures, and just different lifestyle stuff. I know I got hooked last night on reading one about um, how to clean and wax your canvas jacket.
oh, thank you. I did that. Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like you
Thank
don't
you.
find this anywhere without calling a company or searching several hundred
Oh,
different places on their
thank you.
website to find out how to do that. That was super helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to wash my waders again too. I did one. Girl, you remember Rachel Hollis, like wash her
Yes,
face? I'm like,
girl.
girl, you gotta wash your waders.
Yeah, that is awesome. That's good. But what are did I miss any of your other topics? I mean, it's not just for the woman shooter. It's for women looking for stuff just to do in the outdoors, right?
Yes, yes, it is. Anything having to do with being outdoors. It could even be rock climbing, ice climbing, kayaking, ocean kayaking. We like to weave stories around as much of it as possible, but we just got one in this past week about USA Archery and about how they trained a lot of collegiate coaches virtually, and they only have one woman coach. And so that's what we
Hmm.
gleaned out of that at a college in the US, is that this one woman coach was able to get all these great certifications online. And so that's the type of thing we're trying to do, is find these nuggets. Like when they say
Hmm.
the Oreos, the filling, double stuffing of an Oreo right here is something like that. And then we love to run articles like that, other people's press releases, other people's news, as well as our own reviews, so that we can, we can make the outdoors inviting.
Hmm. And I think besides all the different resources on the website, I mean, you yourself being around so much in this industry, um, are we able to reach out to you and for direction of where to go for some questions we might have or places
Sure,
to get that experience?
sure. Yeah, you can reach me either through the website or any of our
Okay.
social media platforms, and we have people that work on those for us, but they're on our team, so
Mm-hmm.
we all know what's going on, and we have almost 20 to 25 women around the world actually that contribute to women's outdoor news. So I'm really proud of that.
Wow,
And
that's really cool.
and some women, when I started back in like 1999, 2000, I mean, you would hardly ever see a byline in Field and Stream from a woman. And I feel like, the way that things are trending right now, and that you're going to see more, and a woman can review a lot more than just a woman's item. That's what, at first it was like, oh, can you review this gun? It's made just for a woman. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. But now it's like, hey, I can review a knife as well as a dude can.
Right.
I could
Right.
throw it. Remember that? No, I'm just kidding.
Right. I'm assuming that you guys do quite a bit of gear reviews, being that you're really one of the main go-to resources for women of anything outdoors. What do you ever come across getting a product that maybe the company offers you quite a bit of money to advertise and push it for them, but you or the staff or people that you rely on that try out those products um, decide it's not really a great one? How do you tackle that?
Well, the first thing that we do is we look really hard at a partnership and whether or not we can get behind a product or the line of products. And if it's not something that we think that we here, the team here, thinks that women will really like or benefit from, we'll just turn it down. Uh, we'll just eat rice and beans for a couple more weeks. It's not a big deal. But
Yeah.
if we do make a partnership with a company and they come out with something and they ask us to review it and there's a problem with it, that's when we get back to the company and we'll say, this happened. And so sometimes it just means they got to send us another one because there was a flaw in that product. So that can happen even with guns. It's happened with me with
Sure.
guns before. They've sent another one and it's been fine. There might be that one-off one in the production and guess who gets it? So do we really want to base an entire review around that one-off thing? Is it going to be 100% perfect production of a product? No. And we understand that. So give them that opportunity. Then the second thing that we'll do is we'll say, hey, we're going to review it, but we'd like to say, if you had done this to the product, we would have appreciated it. No, just know that that's that reviewer's opinion. So now that's out there. And then just like with any blog format, someone else can come in and say, well, I didn't have that problem with it. I thought it was brilliant. Or, yeah, I had that problem too, so I made this adjustment. Took it to the gunsmith and did this, or I took, whatever the product is. But so that's how we get around that. Or if something just totally fails and we just can't get behind it, we'll just send it back. We'll say, we can't do it.
Okay.
We're not going to put a really crapola review out there about something, but we're just not going to review this particular thing.
Right.
What else do you have?
Right. So, but I appreciate that. So even if it does fail, you guys won't write that it was a fail or that you didn't like it for so many reasons. You just won't put it out there at all.
Yeah, because people are looking for things that are successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want gear that's successful, that works. So I kind of figure that that's just about the same thing as putting it out there like this just totally doesn't work.
Right.
Because and also too, at the end of the day, it's a business. So they've made an investment in us. We've promised to do things for them, but I don't feel like that we are destroying our integrity by just refusing to review something, because there are other products from that company that are good.
Yeah.
So we're showing you the products that are good.
Right. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you being a trusted, reliable source, and sharing that with me and the listeners, because that does give you and the one just that much more credibility, and for us when we're looking to have those different apparel items or guns, to know that you guys are going to give an honest opinion of it and not push something that is less than that.
Right. And we will publish if people have a reaction to something. We'll keep it on there. With something
Okay.
we go through and delete all the negative comments. Because if
you leave them
someone
on
just
there
doesn't-
then?
Yeah, if someone doesn't agree with us, why shouldn't their opinion, as long as they're civil about it, then
awesome.
we're happy to know what happened with them in that product. And sometimes, even a manufacturer really wants to know that, and they'll get a replacement product and then they're happy.
Right. Good to know.
Happy, happy, happy.
With some of the trends that have been changing so drastically since you even started, obviously it's well known that women are the largest growing demographic in hunting over the last several years. And what do you think is the reason for that? Why all of a sudden is it just now growing?
Well, first of all, I'm not a man basher because, I have 3 boys and so 3 sons and a husband for 42 years. So I'd never bash them, but then they've really taught me a lot about the outdoors. And so I think that kudos to all the dads and all the boyfriends and all the husbands and all the brothers and all the friends of women that are saying, come on, you want to try this? Yeah. And I see a lot of that. And I just think that culturally, because I've talked to so many women that have told me, oh, my brothers got to hunt and I didn't. So the guys are the ones that are really starting to invite women into their lives, and they're not being so parochial about it. And then also we're seeing such a such an explosion in the women's groups. You mentioned some of them. We've got Shoot Like a Girl Sisterhood of the Outdoors, becoming an outdoors woman. That's like how many years old? 20 something years old now.
Yeah.
Even the states, even to check with your states, your departments of natural resources, your wildlife agencies, they offer all types of clinics for women. So I just think that, it's just like a team effort again with everybody who does this already, offering invitations, because that is the thing that they found out from the survey a few years ago, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, is that women really, and the National Shooting Sports Foundation kind of honed in on that a little more, that women would love to go outdoors and learn to hunt, but they just don't know where to go.
Right. And do you think because of these organizations, these groups that are actually looking to educate, and I don't think it's just women, because men need it too, that want to start hunting. They don't know what kind of habitat to look for. They don't know right off the bat that you should get fit for a gun before you buy it to know that you can shoot it properly. And I think these organizations are doing an amazing job at giving the women the tools and the know-how to actually teach them these things, to be able to do it themselves. And that could be a big difference with it. Yeah. And I know, like, this year,
and what you're doing. Sorry.
Right. Go ahead.
This year what?
So this year,
just, we cannot see each other.
We you go.
So even what you're doing, as minuscule as it may sound, what you're doing, Courtney, is so important too. Just look at all the wonderful women who are hosting podcasts right now.
Right.
Like, inviting. You're coming into our cars, into our homes, into our lives while we're folding laundry or exercising or whatever, and thinking, you know what, I think that's really interesting, and I am not going to have my female dog spayed. I'm just the old way. Just listen to your recent one. I'm like, wow, that is such great information, even if you don't have a bird dog.
Right. Yeah, definitely have a plethora of topics. But I think, like, hunting this year, I probably spend, I don't know, 80% of my hunting season is by myself, just searching out different public land areas where I think birds will be. So I've never come across, in the 10 years I've been hunting, I've never come across another solo woman out hunting. I know it happens. I know several of them personally, but this year I did come across a couple different couples out hunting together, and that's increased from the past. Just to
that's
see,
cool.
To actually see women out there, but this was the first year that I shouldn't say the first year, but I've put together a couple different, hey ladies, let's all meet up here and let's go hunting, throughout the past couple of years. But it's very rare to come across another woman solo hunting right now, and I hope maybe in the next couple of years I'll be able to say differently that, there's a whole bunch of women out today.
That would be neat.
But nothing like the amount of men that you see when you're out. What's kind of been your experience with that?
Well, I hunt in two different ways. Either I hunt pretty much here by myself at where I live in the Ozarks.
Okay.
Or I'll take somebody out. I'll be that, which is exciting because I've become a guide on my own place. But so that's been cool. Or usually if I'm not hunting here, I'm hunting because I'm on a media hunt, or we have a really nice partnership with Sisterhood of the Outdoors where we'll send in one of our writers or videographers on one of Amy's many hunts. Like I was just on a duck hunt in Arkansas to cover it, to be the boots on the ground while it's going on, and then to do a story on it seasonally later on in the year. Okay. So like this duck hunting story, we'll run that next probably August, when people are starting to think about booking duck hunts if they haven't done it already. So, but anyway, that's what. So I'm kind of not the normal person that will book a lot of hunts, out of state or that type of thing. So
Sure.
did that answer your question? I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm
Yeah. Well,
struggling.
and you do so much you do so much traveling with your writing. So it's a different avenue you're taking as well, I think. Different perspective. But when you're going to those hunts and writing about them, are you finding yourself on a team with other women, or are you with the majority of men?
Both ways. It just
Okay.
depends on the nature of the hunt. It might be a women's only media event. It might be a women's only hunt, or it might be a media event with men and women. So that's always interesting because then I'll be usually getting to kind of rub elbows with some of the top gun writers and outdoor writers in the industry, which is always cool, and to pick their brains about things. And
Right. So I'm intrigued with this because you're bringing kind of a different perspective of it as well, because I've never been on a media hunt. So how is that going to be different? Can you teach me about that? Like, so is it like a videotaping? Is it just for articles? How does that work?
well, a media hunt could be someone like Ruger or Remington or one of the big gun companies, CZ, or somebody inviting a few writers from around the country that they know that the bylines will get into the publications they want to be seen in, or
Hmm.
YouTube channels, that type thing. And
Okay.
so then you'll meet up at a lodge and pretty much guaranteed success. And the guys especially, they don't like me calling us trigger pullers, but I feel like that's pretty much what we are when we go on these hunts, because really
Okay.
all the hunting and the scouting has been done,
Right.
which that's part of the hunt, isn't it?
Right. Hmm.
So pretty much we just come in and pull a trigger. I mean, you have to keep
Hmm.
up, that type thing, if it's out west hunting and that type thing. But so I don't know if that
Finding
really
the plan.
worked with answering about hunts, but I should tell you too, I have hunted the sandhills of Nebraska for upland birds.
Okay.
Tried to do the Nebraska slam and failed miserably. And I have somebody who has dogs, the German short hair.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. With the one, you have I'm sure you have people reaching out to you all the time for different reasons to find resources and such. But I think since hunting season has been done here, a lot of women have reached out to me and asked how to improve their shooting before next season starts.
Mhm.
And do you have resources available for that, or any recommendations of where they could look to help do that?
Sure. I think that, that resource that you mentioned with all of the different women's organizations, a
Yeah.
lot of them will be holding shotgun clinics once this COVID starts lifting a little more, the COVID restrictions start lifting a little more. And in fact, some of them, like CZ, even had a huge women's, I think that was through a Girl and a Gun.
Okay.
They even had a huge women's clinic last summer in the Kansas City area. But yeah, I would definitely check that list and look to see, or maybe just do a Google search for your area and see if maybe your own uh, local game agency is having something for women,
Hmm.
or people or families. A lot of them will have shotgun clinics for families, but I do think that it's really important to get a coach. I was a college athlete and my dad is a coach. I can throw a perfect spiral for a football, which has never really helped me in anything in life. But but my dad
But you can do it.
he was a successful high school football coach in North Dakota. So
Hmm.
for quite a while. So I do know how to do that. But anyway, so I think that it's so important to have a coach so that you learn good skills. Don't you think so? I mean, you need, or
Hmm.
somebody who's a good mentor. It doesn't have to be
I
like
agree.
certified coach type thing, but find a
Right.
good coach so that you learn the right way to do it. You don't have to unlearn terrible skills and you don't hurt yourself.
Being that you guys are so personalized in the women's industry of hunting and all the different shooting sports, so I'm assuming you guys are familiar with Syren there.
Yes, we are. In fact, Syren has been on board as a partner for, I want to say 5 or 6 years now. And I know that you work with them. You're on
Mhm.
their pro staff, right?
Yes, yes.
Cool, cool. So
They're amazing.
which guns do you shoot of theirs?
So I shoot the Syren Tempio Light, the 20 gauge.
Hmm.
I use that I mainly hunt rough grouse. So
Okay.
when I'm out there kind of dodging all that rough brush and climbing the hills for dusky grouse. It's awesome. But my go-to for pheasant hunting is the Syren Elos D2, and that's a 20 gauge. It's a little bit has a little bit more weight on it and a little bit less recoil. So, and I use that for shooting clays as well. But they're amazing. When I went up to Excel Shooting Sports, Tracy Keenitz there, she gave me the opportunity to try out, demo all the different Syren shotguns, and it was amazing how each of them fit me so well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does make a difference. I shoot the Elos. I have one that's 4 or 5 years old, and I had it at the Ringneck Classic with me, and I've taken it out pheasant hunting a few times. And you're right, it is a great field gun too.
It
or
is.
trapper skeet.
Mm-hmm. Are you shooting 12 or 20 gauge?
20.
A 20 gauge. Okay.
A 20,
yep.
Especially for field walking. I just, I'm not really interested in carrying a 12 right now. But yeah, it's a great company, and heart's in the right place, and have great staff. Of course, you're on it. So, but they do have a lot of women that are out there hunting and competing, in pretty prestigious matches across the country and winning.
Right. Yeah. Super supportive company. Just out there to help the women, trying to help you feel more comfortable and confident. Definitely.
No kidding. Well, anything Italian, right? But especially this company, but Italian shoes, Italian cars, Italian food, Italian guns, Italian wine.
Anything Italian. You're right.
Yes.
So what, of all of the topics that you guys have there, which are a plethora, what are some of your most popular and sought out topics that you're finding women are looking for?
We do an analytics dive every month so that we know what the readers want, and they tell us lately, of the last few months, they tell us that they're really looking for, this is no surprise, personal defense.
Okay.
Tips and tactics, because that market is exploding with a political climate, what happened last summer in a lot of cities and everything. That definitely is happening. And then I think too that when women get outside more, or they start hiking on their own, or even with me, I fly fish, I'll carry a Glock in a fanny pack, because I know a Glock can get wet and it won't really hurt it and that type of thing. But special operators use it. I can take it fly fishing, but I'll be honest, Missouri is known for having a lot of methane traffic, and I don't want to be. Yeah, you saw that, isn't that in like the Ozarks of that TV show? Or
it is.
Well, anyway,
it's a great show.
Well, it's not even filmed here; it's filmed in Georgia, so there.
Of course.
But anyway, so like I'll be apart from my husband, maybe go around a bend. I don't want to like wander into some kind of meth area or something like that, or I might have to defend myself. You never know. So I think a lot of women are thinking about personal protection, even if they're doing something as mundane as fly fishing or hiking on their own with their dog, or out canoeing. Why not? Why not empower yourself? So that's one thing. The other thing is, we've noticed, of course, that probably because of deer season, just wrapping up, but women want to know about rifles and hunting calibers, and women are really interested in, also they want to know about what, like one of our big searches was shotgun box ammo. What does that mean? On the side of the ammo, like grains, ounces, FPS. What is that? Women want to know. We want to know what we're putting into our guns and why. So that was kind of cool. And then one of our most popular, evergreen, timeless searches and articles read is how to pee in the woods.
Really?
Yes.
It's surprising to me.
It shows up on every month's search. There it is again. Yeah.
Does it need to be more complex than it is?
No, we love it. It's just an evergreen article from about 4 years ago that just keeps bringing people to the site.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So can you like summarize it for me?
Well, Michelle Serino, our managing editor, wrote it, and she just gives tips and photographs, but she kept her clothes on. Oh, thanks for that. But how to hang onto a tree and poke your derriere out there and get it done.
Holding on to the tree. Okay.
not a big tree.
Okay.
It's not like being a tree hugger.
I know. That's what I'm thinking of, like wrapping your arms around the tree and squatting. Like,
No, you
I feel like I have shin splints just thinking about it.
Oh, no, but it could be a post or anything, but so that is one of the things. And I keep telling Michelle she's going to have to write the follow-up, which would be number 2. I get it. Because a lot of people,
Clever.
yeah, they don't know how to poo in the woods either.
Mhm.
That's a big deal. And like, what do you do with it?
I grew up on my dad's farm every other
Yeah, well,
weekend.
you don't
I
have to
feel, yeah, I don't know.
It's just part of life. And I have known women, even editors from publications, that have just said they're not comfortable. And so they are miserable
Mhm.
all day long sitting in a blind because they won't go out.
Right.
They won't go at all. And I always find that that's the time that the animals come in. So go do it.
Exactly.
As soon as you're vulnerable like that, that's what happened with me this year. I took our state rep, who has always wanted to go deer hunting, and she's the youngest state rep in Missouri, up in the legislature. She's my neighbor, and I took her out hunting for the first time, whitetail hunting, and the third morning of sitting there, I finally said, I gotta go out of the blind. I'll be back. Came back in. There she was on a deer with her gun on the sticks and everything. She goes, I'm gonna take it. I'm like, okay. Boom.
That's awesome.
Oh, doe down. And then a buck came out and she goes, can I take this one too? I'm like, at 150 yards. And I said, you have 2 tags, right? You have a buck tag. Yeah. Boom. She didn't even wait for me to say. So that girl was so confident by the time she had sat there for 3 days, watched some deer that were too far away with this caliber. And I was really proud of her, and she field dressed them and everything. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. But that happened because I went out of the blind to go to the bathroom. That's why I brought him in,
Yep.
Should have done that earlier.
What has been like, I don't know, when you're looking for content, where are you looking, which areas to be able to source those?
Well, all of them. Hunting, shooting, fishing, adventure, we work very closely with our partners to find out what would you like for us to feature? Maybe there's a new firearm, maybe there's a new boot, some type of a new product. There's been fishing in the past. What would you like for us to wrap a story around? Because that's the most important thing, is getting that story, that real life experience with the product done and out there. So that's what we do. And then we also have featured bloggers, whether it could be Christy Crabtree from Nevada Foodies, the Survival Mom, Rogue Preparedness. We find that prepper tips are also very, very popular, and especially in this day and age. We're just going to sign Primal Pioneer. It's a couple in Kansas City that hunts public lands and then cooks together. So we're going to be working with them as featured bloggers at the site, where we run part of what they've put up on their own blogs and then kick back to them to finish it off. But just lets us shine a light on these people that are doing this amazing work out there and bringing the outdoors, to people, to invite them again, just to be inviting and accepting.
And I noticed on the Instagram platform, women are using hashtag wonphoto. Is that something that you guys are asking them to do, or kind of started that initiative?
Yeah, we did. And we think we had, last time I looked a couple of days ago, we had 8,000 photos up. We started that a couple of years ago. And this latest one, the woman with the crappie, I said, do you have a recipe for that? Because she said, yeah, we really enjoyed eating it. May we share it? And then she also shared her recipe and a picture. She said, it's really hard to get a photo of it on the plate because it goes so fast. But it was a recipe that included panko breadcrumbs and hot sauce, or wing sauce for crappie. It looked amazingly delicious. Yeah. So yeah.
So that's the kind of photos you guys are looking to have people put the hashtag on then, when they're out harvesting or shooting or meal preps, or what do you look at? Is there anything specific?
No, everything, and anything. We have women showing us their augers for ice fishing. Great. Well, that looks like that could do some damage.
That's awesome. I am seeing a lot of, now that you say that, I am seeing a
Yeah,
lot of photos lately of
ice fishing.
just, mm-hmm.
Those girls are into it up there in Minnesota, and we work with Jenny Anderson, Girl of 10,000 Lakes, and she's a great
Okay.
blogger.
Yeah. Yep.
And she just wrote that book, 123 Ice Fishing, too, or
Okay.
self-published. This great flat book, lift a flat book. My granddaughter loves it, but
Huh.
about ice fishing because she couldn't find a book on ice fishing for her toddler son. So she just she just wrote one herself.
Oh,
So
that's
there you
neat.
go. Yeah, she's a
Right.
go-getter. She's got a
Super.
great blog, Girl of 10,000 Lakes. Highly recommend
Okay.
her.
And speaking of books, you're working on a couple yourself, right?
Why just do one at a time, right? Why
Okay.
not
Right.
when you're going to
Because,
start writing? It's something I've wanted to do forever. The first one is, and thank you for asking. The first one is I'm probably going to put it together this weekend because
okay.
it's all writ, as we say here in the Ozarks. It's all done
Right.
been writ, and it's we did a series a couple years ago on ARs at Women's Outdoor News because we wanted to take the mystique and the out of an AR because it just seems like it has so many parts and you have to register one of them and which one is actually the one that if you don't get it properly you'll be a felon and this kind of thing. So
Sure.
you
Right.
can practically like get a cup holder to put on them. I mean, there's just like so many things you can accessorize. The
Hmm.
furniture is what they call it.
Oh
The
my gosh.
furniture of an AR. So I wrote a series of on ARs and I thought that would be a good Kindle book, especially right now because ARs are politically charged right now. There are people in the government that don't think we should have them, and then people are going out and buying them, and they're like, "What the heck did I just buy?
Hmm.
And why? And will I
Right.
ever use it?" But there's a great platform for women.
Okay.
So because you've got that adjustable stock most of the time, and you can accessorize it to what you want to do with it. So
Interesting.
yeah, and a lot of people are
Yeah.
using
I
them
mean,
for
I don't know
hunting.
about that stuff. So yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
really
so
nice.
I was talking to my pal Julie Gollop, who's a competition shooter, Smith and Wesson, and we're talking about this. She's published a few books. She's self-published Toys, Tools, Guns, and Rules, and then she also published a shooting book with the Skyhorse. But anyway, she was talking the self-publishing route, and I just think just to have a Kindle download on just tiny, but weaving together the series that I did for on ARs and the different parts and pieces and how you put it together and what you need to do and how you can use it to your benefit and why it's a good investment.
Hmm.
Go buy an AR. You might not be able to in half a year.
Right. Exactly.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
So that's the first
Okay.
book. And the
Cool.
second book has been in the works forever, back in my newspaper days, back in 2000. And I started going out, doing things outdoors, but I also noticed these things called water mills in Missouri,
Okay.
these old grist mills and roller mills that are just gorgeous. And they used to have 850 of them in Missouri in the Ozarks alone. And now they don't have that many. But I want to do a book called Water Mills of the Ozarks for Missouri and Arkansas because there's some gorgeous ones. Of course, none of them are still operating,
Hmm.
but they're still there. Some of them have museums, some of them have been made into parks, some of them you can go fishing in they're all associated with water, of course, which is
Yeah.
means it's a beautiful setting. So we have our bicentennial of the state of Missouri this summer. So I thought, well, that would be probably pretty good timing if I could come out with that book in June. It's something I've always wanted to do. It's under my travel blog called The Accidental Ozarkian because I am not from here and I'm just accidentally here, which I used to have a newspaper column called The Accidental Ozarkian for 7 years around the state. And yeah, people would come in and they go, those swinging bridges you wrote about last week? We went out there and we jumped on them too. I'm like, well, great. You got them going.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it's hard. I don't even like
Hmm.
to sleep. I do sleep. I try to sleep 8 hours a night,
Yeah.
but I mean, I got to recharge, but still it's like, oh
Right.
man, I could be writing.
Yeah. Do you find your calming spot doing that writing of like the all the different, I mean,
Yes.
that's kind of two different categories. Staying in the outdoors, so you got
Mhm.
that. But yeah, is that kind of your calm is the writing portion?
I love it. I love storytelling. So I've
Yeah.
always loved writing. I've always loved storytelling. Anytime I can tell a story about something. And that's why I think this whole to approach women about being outdoors, whether it's with a bow, an arch, a gun, or not, or with a dog, or whatever. I mean, I just think that if you can do it in a story, tell a story and let people make their own stories as a result. That's what life's about.
Hmm. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think we can just find ourselves more than anything in the outdoors. What about anything new in the works with One?
Yeah, we do have a few new things going on that I can talk about. Not anything really top secret,
Okay.
but we would never have anything top secret anyway. But well, actually, we do have something top secret. It is an
Oh,
NDA with a gun company, and I can't say which gun, and I can't say what it
okay.
is, but we're going to be
Okay.
reviewing that. So watch this space.
Ooh,
Yeah, we
okay.
do that every once in a while, but
Okay. A
that's
new
top
gun.
secret. Yeah,
Exciting.
yeah.
Okay.
I had to
That
sign
for
an
women?
NDA. Yeah, and men. I had
Okay.
to sign an NDA, and so did my FFL dealer, and I think he felt really
Ooh,
special
that is
because
top
he had to
secret.
promise not to reveal it to anyone when it comes into the store this week. So
Yeah.
that's coming out. But a couple of things.
Exciting.
We work closely with like Sisterhood of the Outdoors, Shoot Like a Girl. So we're working on some new ideas for partnerships there. And then, I just keep thinking we should have a store at
Mm-hmm.
Women's Outdoor News, and we should have a store that features art by women in the outdoors, maybe Sisterhood of the Outdoors, a couple of their pieces, maybe Wonder Woman, Kansas, like her cool hoodies that I wear, just things that people could drop ship to people.
Sure.
But I don't
That's a
know.
really good
Will
idea.
you? You
It's
have a
kind of,
store.
kinda, yeah. Well, it's just, yeah, ish. Mm-hmm.
I like your store. In fact, I'm trying to decide what
Yeah.
to order. Like you have some cool shirts and t-shirts. Oh, and
Yeah.
your hats. Your hats are awesome.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, it's so hard to find. Like, I don't know. I love blaze orange stuff because obviously that's what I'm wearing, during season. And I just think that that's such an easy way to help cater to women is just give them the stuff that they need for what they're doing
Yes.
and then be comfortable in. So,
Yeah, it'd be like a boutique for outdoor that
yeah.
would showcase some things from some women's outdoor organizations that they would be agreeable to.
Mm,
I don't even know how you do this, but
yeah.
that so and if anybody out there is listening to this and you are an artist or you make something cool that has an outdoorsy theme, get in touch with me. Let's talk.
How can they get in touch with you?
Oh, well, how about they call you and then you can, I'm just kidding. And then you call me.
I will do no middleman work here.
No, I'm just teasing. No, there are a lot of ways. I mean, we have social media,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Instagram. We're on Rumble now. We were on Parlor. Wah,
Uh-oh.
wah, wah. We're hoping to come back. We stopped Twitter.
Okay.
We also have Pinterest, which does really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really good as a really good way for people. I would really highly encourage anybody in the outdoors world to get onto Pinterest.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Okay. So, I mean, go into that a little bit. What are some of the things that you guys are doing on Pinterest that would be advantageous for someone to hop on there?
Well, anytime that Pinterest is just Google too. It's not really
Uh-huh.
social media, and it's another and it's a shopping. It's a shopping mall.
Yeah, it's like a clickable magazine.
Hmm.
Right.
And you know what our most popular board is not how to pee outdoors. It is outdoor related tattoos. Because
Really?
we actually did a post on that one time, and because we noticed that a lot of women, especially some of the more influential women in the outdoors, have these amazing tattoos. So we asked them, what does that mean?
Right.
And so that is one of our most popular boards is
Cool.
uh, is the outdoor inspired tattoos.
I like that. I can see that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes,
Interesting.
if you're not on Pinterest, get up there. Get up there with
Mhm.
whatever business you have and start telling your story. And they even have storyboards now, story pins at Pinterest. So, oh man, this story thing is hot, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't I need to I guess I need to go back and look at that. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on, Barbara, that we may have missed?
Well, I think that if anybody wants to tell their story, wants to do a guest post, wants to talk to us about something that they've experienced outdoors that they think would help other women, inspire other women or girls, get families together, please reach out to me and let me know. We are more than happy to share your story.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I very much appreciate it and all the resources that you and everybody at the One is contributing to help us in this community. pretty good stuff.
You're welcome, and thank you for what you're doing. And from my closet to yours, maybe have a happy Valentine's Day.
I know. It's amazing we were able to get this connection from the sticks of Ozarks to the sticks of backcountry Montana. I love it.
Yeah, you gotta love technology.
Yes.
Thanks,
Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bird Dog Babe podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it and tag someone that would benefit from listening. And to help others find this podcast, please give it a rating and review on whichever platform you're listening from. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.
Until next time, Bird Dog Babes, keep them versatile.